Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the WHOA GNV podcast, the podcast bringing you businesses and individuals that make you go, whoa. I'm your host, Collin, and today's show is being brought to you by the GNV Commercial Advisors at Collier's Gainesville. If your business has ever bought land, sold property, or negotiated a lease, you know why it's important to have someone in your corner who knows the market and delivers results. That's why you see so many Collier's Gainesville signs all over town. The GNV Commercial Advisory team of Collier's Gainesville has the most experienced commercial real estate team in the market, along with access to a global network of industry experts. With one call, you'll know why so many businesses trust them. Learn more by visiting them on the web at colliers.com/Gainesville. I don't know if you've noticed already, James. I had a tendency to look this direction. You guys, I'm so excited because today we are recording out at San Francisco Tech City. Some really cool stuff going on. This is the first on location podcast we've ever done. We brought all the equipment, we got set up here. We're going to be interviewing several people today and out here, and then we'll release the episodes throughout the course of everything going on over the next few weeks. So here it is. What's going on out here, you guys? We have the Startup South event out here in San Francisco Tech City, where Florida's leading founders, investors, executives, and media are gathering for an epic program of interviews, pitches, music, and great food. If you missed it this time, be sure to stay tuned for the next event. Stay tuned just by checking it out at startupsouth.net. I'm pumped to be recording out here, so let me introduce you to one of our guests today, who's going to be pitching later tonight. I'm super grateful that he took the time to get in the studio because I know what it's like to have your mind set and be prepared for something. So you guys, today on the show we have Erik Zika, founder of Beachbase, and he's also in the hospitality space with White Buffalo, The Range, Oak, a lot of those names that you recognize all over Gainesville. This guy is involved with those. So Eric, welcome to the show, man.
Thank you very much for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah. So I'm super excited to have you here. Thank you for just taking the time, because I know when you have your mind prepared for something and you're getting ready to pitch tonight, and then here I am, I'm like, hey, Eric, let's get in the podcast. Let's do this.
Yeah, this was very spontaneous, but with my app Beachbase, it affords you the opportunity to be spontaneous by going to the beach. So I feel like I definitely had to do this for you.
Cool, man. Let's before we kind of talk about Beachbase, let me just hear a little bit about your story. How'd you become an entrepreneur? What was your first gig? How did you get into Gainesville?
Yeah,
just kind of unfold it for me. I'm super interested.
No problem. I'm 38 years old. I went to the University of Florida, graduated in 2005. While I was at the University of Florida, I worked at a lot of bars, restaurants, nightclubs. I promoted for a lot of different venues. I basically did everything in the hospitality sector while I was in school. So I developed a passion for that pretty quickly. And then, but what I was learning in school, I got a major in broadcast journalism and production. So right after school, I moved to both New York City and then LA, worked for a bunch of production companies out there. I had a little too much fun, to be honest, which a lot of people do in LA. And I decided, with the amount of money I was making and with the amount of debt I was in, that I would come back to Gainesville and use my passion that I learned in the hospitality sector and try to really learn about the food aspect in the restaurant business and open up some spots.
Cool. So when you got back to Gainesville, was there something that pulled you here? You're like, let me just go back to Gainesville and
it's just a comfort zone. Of course I went to school here. I was here for 4 years, and I had a big presence already in the town. I was able to make money really easily. I know the market very well, so I just thought it'd be a good fit.
Cool. Yeah. So you and I went to school at pretty close to the same time, because I was 2000 to 2004. What year did you get back to Gainesville?
2007.
Okay, so from 2005 when you left to 2007, had it changed much? I'm trying to throw myself back, because I remember, back in 2004, I always tell people, man, there was really no resources to really start a business. I kind of had to figure it out on my own.
Yeah, I mean, development wise, it didn't really change much. Downtown back when I was in school was way bigger than the actual Midtown area, and through the years, and once we opened 101 Cantina in 2009, that kind of flipped the script, and Midtown became more the popular destination for students, and then downtown kind of sort of shifted over to the more postgraduates, the older clientele, and that's kind of how I feel like it's been for the past 5, 6, 7 years.
Okay. So when you get into Gainesville, what was business number one that you guys got off the ground?
We opened 101 downtown, which opened in 2007.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And then when did these others kind of come along? Like, how did you, I guess I'm just kind of very, very curious how you get to the White Buffalo, the Range. How do you get like how do you get like a series? Like what
101 downtown started off, it was very successful. It was in the Union Street station. It's right on the edge. Right now there's a brewery there that took over for us after we closed. But we were right next to Mark's and Dragonfly. It was a really good location, but kind of on the outskirts of Gainesville. But we had an international fusion of food, and then we switched to a lounge at night and had a really good nightlife there as well. And we had a really good run at it. We actually were open for about 8.5 years. In the restaurant industry, things, you have to constantly, every 3 years, try to reinvent yourself and everything because things become stale. So we had a good run at it. We learned a lot. And during that time, we actually opened a lot of other properties, and we learned a valuable lesson in that too. We moved to Tallahassee, we moved to Boca, we opened businesses in all those locations. But now I feel like by sticking to our core principles and core really strong concepts, and trust me, I've made plenty of mistakes, and the mistakes have only made me stronger in my experience over these past 15 years. And now we're just kind of sticking to what really works, stay ahead of the trends, and yeah. So the failures have helped me along the way. And 101 Cantina opened in 2009, and that was an extreme success. Literally, if anyone's listening to this podcast, you haven't heard it, then you're probably not from Gainesville. Even the newer students that are here now, even freshmen, have heard about 101 Cantina.
Yeah. We used to go there all the time. We used to even have the startup nights, all sorts of stuff out there.
Yeah, it had those good tiki vibes in the back. Everyone just wanted to drink. It was a good time. We had those giant parking lot events that brought amazing amounts of revenue. And just at the end of the day, they sold the land to big developers, and now they are a giant new mixed-use retail business is going right there in that spot, which I can also announce at this point, like the old Swamp location, I am actually taking over and doing a new concept in that location right on University and 17th. Cool. So it's cool how everything comes full circle like that.
Yeah, when you started going out to other locations like Tallahassee and stuff, was it just because you're seeing an opportunity, or somebody's reaching out to you and saying, "Hey, we have this opportunity to come out here"? Yeah, no,
people would. How that happened, to be honest, people they were at Cantina one night, and he was a big time developer, and he was actually with Mark Cuban and stuff like that. It was a crazy story, but he ended up really liking us, and wanted us to come down to his office and see a project that he was working on. And so then we were being recruited per se, and we ended up taking 4 properties in his space, which now we know that also is a red flag, which we learned let's open 4 businesses at once. That sounds great, la la la. But that really could set you up for failure. Like I said, now we know that we want to stick to our core principles, solid concepts, keep reinventing the wheel, always be ahead of the trend with your menus, with your drinks, and just have solid marketing, and service, of course, is extremely important. Constantly be training your staff, your servers, your bartenders, and right now with the pandemic, that changed everything. It changed so many things. Staffing is a lot harder, so it's really important to do whatever you can to retain the employees that you have, treat them fairly, treat them well, make sure they feel it's like a family, and they're very comfortable being there. They feel safe, they enjoy it. Yeah. And then all that will do is they'll be able to help recruit new staff for you by telling their friends. Yeah. Do you get bored easily? Sometimes, yeah.
I just ask because I'm kind of the same way. I hear all these, all these businesses and stuff, and I'm man, I'm very much like that. I like to explore opportunities, or somebody approaches me with something. I'm it takes a lot for me to say no. I want to jump on it and say yes, but I've been in a very similar place. I feel because of the pandemic, especially with the scooter shop and stuff. I even looked at my own business, even though that was besides the podcast, that was that's my main gig, right?
Yeah.
But I've just been looking at it, I'm like, man, I've just been streamlining things, kind of getting back to, like you said, kind of getting back to the core, and just really focusing. We got rid of like higher brands like Vespa and Piaggio, and I don't know. I've just been in this mindset of like, how do I like streamline this?
No, trust me. I mean, being in this industry, like I could never like be like some of these people who I respect dearly, like that. I've had a pizza restaurant, for example, in New York City that has been open for 40, 50 years, like legacy type brands. Like I get bored too quickly. That whole thing of after 5 years, if the concept is not doing too hot anymore, like if you still have an amazing location, whatever, there's nothing wrong at all with rebranding, changing the name, doing a whole new concept. You just got to believe in it. And always when you are able to have something new like that, something fresh, it invigorates you a little bit, brings back some more of that passion. Because when you're in this restaurant industry, the crazy stuff that happens on a daily basis, the stuff that happens that you would not expect, everything breaking nonstop, things like that, it does wear down on you a little bit, but you just got to keep pushing. So new, fresh things, new ideas that helps you along the way.
That's cool. You said, you're talking about some of the lessons learned along the way. What would you say is the biggest? Like, what's been the biggest failure, the biggest thing that you learned from that's really impacted your career?
To me, it's all about trusting your staff to do the right thing. You have to put them in the place to be able to succeed. But after that, I've learned so many times, like people will tell you that they'll do so many things and they never do them. They never follow through. So we're going to put you in the best position to succeed. And if you don't want to take the time to learn everything and do everything at the end of the day, we're going to have to let you go. And we want to take care of our staff as much as possible. But I mean, something I learned, it's saying, hiring is guessing and firing is knowing. So our staff is the most important thing, and throughout the whole interview process, people lie, people embellish things, people make things up. They always want to try to, put themselves up to be in a higher pedestal than they are sometimes. And you learn that pretty quickly. So once you learn that, I feel like it's very important to just cut ties and then move forward with the people that do really feel passionately about what you do. We know that we're in a college town here, and not everyone has goals to be in this industry. A lot of them are part-time jobs and things like that. But we have actually developed a lot of people through the years that have turned out, from even like a lower end position all the way to managers. And it's very important to treat those people well, treat them fairly, compensate them well to ensure that they want to continue on staying. And then, like I said, stick to your, to my previous point, stick to your core principles, figure out what you're best at, what your strongest suits at, and the things that you aren't strongest at, find someone. There's no shame in hiring someone that it can do something better than you. The smartest people always hire smarter people to take care of those jobs for them.
What are you the best at?
Concepts are my thing, man. I love the creative side. I love developing the concepts. I love seeing them through from start to finish. I literally live for that, man. I love the creative side so much. I like to be on point on trends, and I like to even think ahead of what the next trend could be, even if something comes out or whatever it may be. And I like to kind of create the trends if I can. And trust me, there's been many times and many instances where stuff I've put out there has then been, emulated and copied on. So,
any current trends that have you excited right now?
I really love the crypto and NFT space, and I'm looking to potentially involve that in some of my new future ventures, which are on the horizon here. So I look forward to that.
What's your source of information? Like if you catch a trend like crypto and NFTs, like where are you going first? Like, is there any entrepreneurs that you like really follow or that you use as a vital source of information? To be honest,
I'm on Twitter like probably 6 hours a day.
Really?
Like, I'm like,
Twitter's your platform?
Like if my mind is like, I don't know, like I'm instantly on Twitter. Like sometimes I'll catch myself, I'll be on it, I log off for freaking 10 seconds and then I'm like, oh, and then I'm right back on it somehow. So like, I follow a lot of people that have an inspiration to me, and I read all their threads, and it just helps me along the way. I dig down a little deeper and do some more research on them and see what companies they're a part of, see if they've written anything, any books, try to read those books, things like that. But the internet is the greatest resource, and some people don't utilize it the way they should.
Yeah. So talk to me a little bit about this new venture. This you're pitching tonight out here at Startup South. Use us as a way to practice your pitch, I guess. So how long is the pitch? It's a 5-minute type thing, or?
It's a 5-minute speed pitch. 5 minutes, to be honest, is not a long time once you're trying to explain the whole thing in its entirety. So you have to be able to make some sacrifices, make some cuts here and there, and hopefully people will still understand the idea. But our idea is pretty simple. It's called Beachbase. The funny thing is, this is kind of the story behind it. I actually was dreaming one night, and I literally was thinking about this idea while I was sleeping in my dreams. And I woke up, it was like 3:21 in the morning. I remember it exactly. Looked at my phone, and I started going right in my notes app and started literally writing the beginning of what turned to be a business plan that I focused on over the next week. And this was in the middle of the pandemic. I didn't have much going on. Like, the businesses were closed. So like, it was almost like...
Do you remember the date or anything? Like, when was it?
It was in May.
It was in May?
It was in like late April, early May, something like that.
2020?
Of 2020.
Okay.
And it just happened. My businesses were closed, and my brain, I'm ADHD. I don't know if you could tell, but my brain literally is constantly on fire, spinning and thinking. And I could use that to my advantage sometimes. And sure enough, I kept forward with it. I literally wrote out an entire, probably about a 4 to 5 page business plan. And then I called Quan over here at Collective & Co. and we had a nice discussion. I came here to meet with Aaron, and we talked about what it would take to develop this as an app, because I'm from South Florida. I lived by the beach, and it was always such a pain in the ass to be able to go to the beach, no matter what. If you didn't have a pickup truck, a van, an SUV, and all, when we're young and in high school, we don't have that stuff. We just have little rinky-dink cars, whatever it may be, and we go there just to have fun with our friends and just bring a towel or whatever. But I realized after going to the beach a few times now in my, now in my older age, the current vendors that are there, everything is just outdated. It's unsanitary. They leave everything stacked overnight. So I'm like, it'd be amazing if literally you could just wake up. It affords you the opportunity to be spontaneous. You pick a date, you pick a time, and then you can just get in your car and go, and everything will be there waiting upon your arrival.
Oh, so that's it. That's the idea.
And that's literally, so we have umbrellas, chairs, tables, towels, water comes free with it. And then we have toys for the kids if you want to order those packages, sunscreen, chapstick, you name it. Anything.
That's a great idea, man.
Any single thing that you could need at the beach.
Watch the tapping on the table. Sorry.
Anything you need that could be at the beach, we definitely are able to bring that to you. And it's also a service platform. So being in the hospitality industry, we have a concierge team standing by. So they're there to greet you, take care of you the whole time, kind of watch you, like basically bringing the brick and mortar of what I've done to the beach.
Yeah.
And so like you can pre-order a bunch of different types of snacks or drinks, and they'll all be there in your cooler waiting on you. And if you run out of anything, just like in a Disney chat or anything else, you can log right onto the app, talk to your concierge, order it on the app, and they'll bring it right over to you.
That's super cool.
Mm-hmm.
So what are the current limitations with it? Are you already doing this in South Florida, or is it just kind of in the idea stage still right now?
We're very close to V1 version of the app. We're in tech terms, we're past seed. We haven't raised the money yet on that aspect, and that's why we're here. And we've been starting the whole pitching process. But we've invested quite a bit of money into getting ready for beta. We have 30 setups right now ready to go. We have a Sprinter van that's being wrapped. So it's a mobile delivery service. So how everything works is all of our equipment is housed in an air-conditioned warehouse, like very in a good location, close to the beach. We have a fleet of vans, and they basically like how Amazon, the Sprinters or the Ford Transit 250s, high roof, same type of scenario. They our team will pack up the van with all the amount of setups that are needed for that day. They'll go there at like 6-7 a.m., set everything up. It'll be all very nice and organized. And anyone that books that day, they literally, with this awesome GPS technology, it can place you within 3 feet of your setup. And then the concierge team is right there to greet you, and there'll be like a little number with a QR code and tags, so you'll know you're at the right spot, and everything is there. So it just, for families and with kids, if you have kids, trust me, forget about it. Like, I mean, the amount of with them screaming and everything for you to be able to remember everything you need to go to the beach.
It's a pain in the butt, man.
It's impossible.
I got 2 boys and they like to go to the beach, and I'm like, I don't want to haul this crap out to the beach.
And then to your point, exactly. And then like finding parking is a nightmare. So you might have to end up parking half a mile away, whatever. And then if you actually
haul all that crap.
If you have to haul everything to the beach, get it on the sand, and then to break it all down and carry it through the sand, and then your car will get destroyed by all the sand too. I mean, it's just. It's not a fun experience, so that's what we're there for, to kind of create a hassle-free beach experience for everyone.
What do you foresee the challenges being in this business?
The biggest challenges, the municipalities that we're talking with in the Fort Lauderdale area, they love the idea. We've already pitched. I have lobbyists working on our behalf that are trying to get everyone on board, and then just inventory. At the end of the day, it's very inventory and HR. It's an expensive thing to operate, but also since it is brick and mortar brought over to the sand, it can make revenue on its own without even needing like other money. So the money that we can get from various VC firms will definitely just help us to scale quickly. Like we could go from city to city to city. And then the grandiose idea and the plan is to help change the world and beaches all over and go internationally.
That's cool. Mm-hmm. Have you thought through in terms of the pricing and what this would cost the customer?
Yeah, right now, when we first came up with the app and we priced everything out, right now it is set at $15 an hour per person. So if you're there with, a family of 4, for example, you're going to be spending $120 for 2 hours or whatever. And it's like $165 or whatever it is for 3 hours. But trust me, if you don't have anything or you need to get coolers or whatever all on the fly, and you're going to Publix and grabbing all this stuff and everything you need to do and all the time, this might not be for everyone, but there is a market out there for this for people. People's time is very valuable. The hassle is definitely a real thing, and to create a real stress-free experience where you can just get in the car and go, we just thought it was a no-brainer.
Yeah, and I'm just thinking even the vacationers, the people who just go to the beach, who are like, might be from the middle of the country somewhere, right? And they're coming down here. You're gonna have to go rent that stuff from somewhere else anyway, and then you're gonna have to drag it. How much of a benefit would it be to not have to drag it to the beach and just have it there set up ready to go?
100%. There's so much opportunity with various partnerships with different hotels and Airbnbs that don't have the luxury of being directly on the sand. They don't have that direct beach access. So we can partner with them and provide a service that their customers can rely on.
It's awesome. How much are you trying to raise to get this thing going?
Our first seed raise is $1.5 million for 10, and then moving forward, we just know based on how the concept is set up, with the more and more money we can get, the faster it can scale.
That's cool, man. I wish you the best of luck, man. This is awesome.
Thank you so much.
I'm excited. Is there anything you want our audience to know about it? Last words?
That's pretty much it. We're going to be, hopefully, if everything runs smoothly, we're going to be starting beta in the next month or so. And then based on various funding and, meetings with more municipalities in South Florida, and potentially say if there's a VC fund that, is based somewhere else in Tampa or Jacksonville, they're like, oh, we love this idea. We want this to be in our backyard. Then we can, quickly, move over there. It's about hiring the right people. It's about everyone, believing in the idea, and the people will get paid well to do this. We know they're going to be, out on the beach with the sun bearing down on them. It's not going to be the easiest job or anything like that, but we want to provide a service experience that no one else can compare to.
So really quick on that, because it just kind of sparked another question, which is what always happens, right? So this concierge, like, you can have one or two people out there, and are they there the whole time, or is it kind of like they come there, check on you, and then go away?
No, so basically it depends on your setup and what time you're coming and everything like that. But most likely, say based on 30, 40 setups, whatever we have, we'll probably have one person per 5 setups. So just like in a restaurant,
in like the same area. It's like
later. So like we have our main concierge manager that will be there working with inventory, making sure all the setups are going properly. Then we'll have the setup team. Then we'll have the actual service people that are actually the ones that are greeting you, taking care of you, grabbing anything else you may need, making sure you're having a good time, and adding that extra service that we all deserve.
Love it. This is going to be a really cool idea. I cannot wait for this to be executed just so I don't have to drag crap out to the beach anymore. So the app is called Beachbase, or will be.
It's called Beachbase.
It's called Beachbase.
That's final. Yeah.
That's final. It's still in beta, you said, right? Or
it's in beta. I mean, you literally we're on test flight right now. The app is, like I said, we're close to we're 90 to 95% done to have a full V1 version out, ready to go.
Okay.
And that'll be ready very shortly, so we can go into beta. But like with this, I mean, you gotta have so many components that make it almost to its like ending. The end game for it to like work the way it needs to work. Like, in this tech world, they say during beta, you release an MVP, which is kind of a dumbed down version of it. But we want everyone to get as much of the full experience as they can. So we're going to be releasing a version 1.
Gotcha. And, say maybe there's an investor out there that's listening, future customers, like where can they get more information? Where could they contact you?
They can email me at Erick, ERIK, at Beachbase, BEACHBASE.co.
Awesome. Cool, man. Thanks again so much for coming on. This is awesome. I wish you the best of luck. This is epic. I love it. I love the idea. Obviously you've already got a long history being an entrepreneur. So do you like the term serial entrepreneur? No, I always tell people I'm a serial entrepreneur. Like, I like to eat cereal.
Adding the word cereal to anything makes me think of serial killers. Which I actually do like different shows about them. Dexter was one of my favorite. Don't think any differently of me now or anything like that. But no, I just like the entrepreneurship in general. I mean, I respect so many people that are out there grinding every day with the hustle and everything you have to do with it. I mean, you have to have complete confidence and conviction in your idea. Absolutely. And you have to make people believe in it too. Otherwise, you will fail.
Love it. Thanks again for coming on, man.
Thank you so much for having me.
A lot of fun. And thank you to the team, James Leitner, Sarah Lentz, and to our awesome intern team, Trinity, Gianna, and Noah, for all of your hard work and making this show happen. You guys are all stars. And podcast fam, remember that you can find the links to all of our incredible sponsors that make this show happen at whoagnv.com/sponsors. You can also find the links in the show notes of the episode. So just, scroll down, look down in the description in those show notes, and you can get those links as well. And, when you contact our sponsors, be sure to say, I heard you on the WHOA GNV podcast, the podcast bringing you businesses and individuals that make you go,
whoa.
Whoa. We'll see you later. Bye.